Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and Donald Trump. Trauma-swami! Trauma-swami. That's what we want. We want trauma-swami. We want trauma to the poverty that President Biden has brought. We want trauma to the global war that President Biden has created. We want trauma to the lawlessness that is ripping through our country that President Biden has created with cowardice, inaction, and more than anything else, being an old man with poor memory, right? So let me get right to the point, okay? I want to talk about why it's so critical we get Vivek Ramaswamy to be the selection for vice president for Donald Trump. And the reason why is we're creating a parachute, okay? America cannot be led by an elderly man with poor memory, and that is on official government record for President Biden. It's just written on every heart and every mind for Donald Trump. We all know that making an elderly man with poor memory president is a bad idea, and any 80-year-old man, in my humble opinion, is going to be an old man with poor memory. That an 80-year-old man is an old man with poor memory. It is not sound logic to have any 80-year-old man be president. We've done it once. It's turned out atrociously. It is 100% a failed experiment with all test evidence completely failed. Right? It's a failure, right? Like, we have poverty, war, and lawlessness. This is a failed experiment. Let's not repeat a failed experiment with a different elderly man with poor memory, which is all the 80-year-old president Donald Trump will be. We know this, right? Let's get all the way to the point. Why is it critical that we cannot have an elderly man with poor memory being president? And that means no Donald Trump, no President Biden. But we're going to have to elect one, and then we need to get them out. Yeah, we need to find a safe, legal, kind, tolerant way to remove the 80-year-old president that we elected. That has to happen. And so Vivek Ramaswamy is the parachute we're preparing right now for when we remove President Donald Trump when he's elected. And trust and believe, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think Biden has any chance against Trump with anyone he selects. Trump will virtually destroy Biden. Okay, all right. Why is this so critical? Well, last week, number one movie in America was Bob Marley, One Love. Americans went in huge numbers, and this thing broke. Bob Marley, One Love was the most successful, was the number one movie in America in the middle of February 2024. Everybody went to see it, okay? I went to see it on opening night, and it was packed, okay? Grace Randolph, best movie ever in the world, just explained that it broke every expectation monetarily, right? You know what Bob Marley had to say? He said, "Do not worry about a thing. Every little thing is going to be all right." That was 1970s. We're in the 2020s. Worry about everything. Nothing is going to be all right because the leader of the free world cannot remember where he put his keys. We have an elderly man with poor memory leading the world in a time where the U.S. Congress, U.S. congressmen, and U.S. congresswomen, this week, the same week that Bob Marley is in every American theater singing "Don't Worry About a Thing, Everything's Going to Be All Right," U.S. Congress people are saying, worry about everything. We have been for 2 or 3 years now discussing the increased capability of Russia with nuclear weapons for space. Nuclear weapons in space. Increased capability. Increased capability. We have an international murderer. That's what Vladimir Putin is. He's not a president. He's not a leader. He is an international villain. He is a straight murderer. Since February 2023, he has murdered Ukrainians every single day. He is an international murderer. We have tyrants all over the globe, right? We literally need a Justice League. You know what we have? We have a man who cannot remember where he put classified documents, let alone his keys. We worry about everything. Absolutely nothing is going to be all right. Worry about everything. Worry that an international murderer can put nuclear weapons in space. That's what we learned last week. 1970s, don't worry about a thing. Every single thing is going to be all right. 2020s, under Joseph Biden, President Biden, under Democrat law, worry about every single thing. An international murderer is putting nuclear weapons in space to kill you. That's where we are today, in my humble opinion. That's what we learned last week. Worry about every single little thing. Do not sleep. This world is on fire, and the leader of it can't even remember where he put the documents that give him the information about what's happening, because he's an elderly man with poor memory. And the real crisis is the Democrats. They're fools. You know, you expect foolishness from Democrats. Good, kind hearts, you know, more feeling than thought, right? But the Republicans are going to do the same thing. They're like, hey, elderly man with poor memory turned out tears and flames. Why don't we do an elderly man with poor memory and all believe it's not going to turn out tears and flames? It will. It will. We have to install the parachute. We have to put the parachute on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is cataclysm on a plate. He is going to do the same thing that Biden did. He is going to make a situation where the world is not safe because he cannot remember where classified documents are. He'll leave them out for enemies to take, exactly like Biden did. That's what the special report told us, in my humble opinion. We have to stop this. We have to stop this. We have to get the parachute on the back of the Republican Party. Vivek Ramaswamy is our only hope for good moral leadership in America. Okay? We got to get this taken care of. And I'm sorry, but Bob Marley didn't know what he was talking about. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's going to be all right. Worry about every single thing. There is an international murderer laboring every day to put nuclear weapons above you and rain them down, in my humble opinion. Worry about every single thing. Do not sleep. We have to fix this, because the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are simultaneously abandoning us and refusing fair leadership. Every single word you just heard is nothing more than my humble opinion. What's important is when I hear your humble opinion. You get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.